This is a battle cry for the American way of life and a relentless pursuit of truth and justice. It comes from a voice with unmatched experience and unyielding resolve. Join us as we dissect current events and tip the scales in your favor. This is Rally for the Republic with your host, Bryan Rudnick.
Welcome to the very first episode of Rally for the Republic. I'm your host, Bryan Rudnick. Thank you for taking this journey with me. I want to share with you my vision for the show and what you can expect in upcoming episodes. I want to talk to the everyday American. I want to talk to freedom-loving Americans. I want to talk to people who care about this country, and I hope you're one of them. I hope all of you are many of them. Thank you for listening, and I hope you find this as productive as I do. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Bryan Rudnick. I've been in the political arena, either working, volunteering, getting paid, managing, you name it, but I've been doing it for nearly 30 years. Started when I was 19. I literally started getting a paycheck for working in politics when I was 19. So there was no social media. People were just starting to figure out websites. I got into emails real early, started using them in data in the 90s. Quite frankly, to the point I got kicked out of a student body government election in college at Brandeis University for mass email marketing. To get right down to it so you understand me and what I have to offer you, what I've seen, what I've done, let's go with the most important parts. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a Jewish American, and I've always fought for the conservative movement. I fought for the United States. I'm a proud Jew who's going to fight tooth and nail as the grandson of Holocaust survivors to make sure Israel continues to be a thriving nation. And I won't tolerate anything less from the leaders here in the United States and their support. I started my company, Aligned Strategies Group, in 2005 after a lot of years of campaigning, running statewide ballot initiatives, and a 2-year stint in private equity. So my career, if you Google me, you're going to see I've got a nice little Wikipedia page that a friend once put up. Jon Stewart's even made fun of me on The Daily Show. And I've been involved in a few controversies. Quite frankly, most of what's online is only a small fraction of what I've gotten done. I've had the opportunity to work on, consult, be paid for work on 9 presidential campaigns. I've worked with hundreds of PACs and super PACs, nonprofit organizations, from your Let's Educate People type of 501c3 nonprofits to the 501c4 social welfare groups that really help to do political advocacy. I've been lucky enough to work with some of the top names in the ministry world and humanitarian causes that support and help people both in the United States and all around the world. And I've worked with a ton of for-profit businesses and their marketing business strategies, new businesses, existing businesses you see advertised on TV on a daily basis. I might have helped them with a marketing strategy, or I might just have helped them increase their leads and sales. But I've had the chance to do a lot. I even interned on Capitol Hill as a college student. I've worked with candidates from state representative, circuit court, state legislator, constitutional statewide office holders, candidates for all this, and a ton, and I mean a ton, of congressional, senatorial, gubernatorial candidates across the country, and many incumbents. Some of that has been documented even on the front page of the Washington Post and ProPublica and some of their nice hit pieces on me. And I'd like to think that at this point in my life, I'm no longer practicing the art of political consulting. I'd like to consider myself an expert, and hopefully you think of me that way too. After all, people pay me a pretty penny to give them advice, tell them what to do, tell them how to do it better. I have succeeded and I've failed, just like everybody else in America and in business. And I run a business that's very diverse. And I know what it takes. I also know what it's like to be a political consultant who's gone through divorces, or a divorce, especially where you've got an bitter ex of 13 years. It keeps going. But I've also been fortunate enough to find the love of my life and be successful in a 10-year marriage that's going very strong. And I've taken on the IRS. I've taken on members of Congress. I've taken on state Supreme Court justices, large and small corporations. And I just get my ass burned by politicians who are corrupt. And I don't care when they burn my ass at any level, I go after them, even if it's personal in nature. Same thing with these corporations. I don't need to be paid to to go after somebody who has performed an injustice. I do it with pride, and I make sure they know that their behavior is unacceptable. And unlike the elitists, I'm a regular American. I live a life among regular Americans. I don't live on some hill. I don't live with private security guards. Why? Because I cling to my guns and religion, and I got plenty of my guns. And if you come looking for me, you might get the surprise you don't want. I have fought school boards when they want to come up with their woke equity policies. And within 1 week, I got the Palm Beach County School Board here to remove a sentence that said to root out white advantage. I hate injustice. If that's not clear, let me make it clear. I absolutely hate injustice, and I will fight it anywhere, tooth and nail. And I will find a way to win. I will find a way to deliver the win we need to make things right, to tip the scales in your favor. I've done it since the time I was in college Republicans. I've done it since the time I ran my first statewide ballot initiative, and I've done it in almost every campaign I've been a part of. If you want my help, I'm here to help. I've got the courage. This is not an ego. This is not pride, me flying too close to the sun. No. This is me telling you, I'm an American sitting here with a cold who wants to help you because I am driven by truth, justice, and the American way. As corny as that might sound. Yes, I'm a proponent of the Torah. Yes, I am a proponent of Florida's Castle Doctrine, the United States Constitution, and I hold our Second Amendment rights dear. So if you want my help, if you want to learn the truth about the process, what I've seen, what I know, what my experiences have taught me, and how important it is that I help more Americans rise up and take back our country, I hope you will listen to my podcast, and I hope you find it helpful.
You are listening to Rally for the Republic with your host, Bryan Rudnick.
So I want to give you a little understanding of why I decided that I had a calling to do this Rally for the Republic podcast. I've been a political consultant for nearly 30 years, and every day I wake up and I read the news, and I read a whole lot more than most people. And I'm digesting it, and I'm interpreting it, and I'm finding ways to craft messages to help my clients. And every day I see people trying to claim that they're fighting back and they're representing the average American like Donald Trump. But the reality is very few understand what he's doing, how he's the symbol of how all Americans are fighting back. And I decided, you know what? I've got a lot to offer this country. There's a lot more in this part of my life now that I guess I'm a middle-aged man who can help people understand how to truly fight back. Not just to fight your crazy relative at the next holiday dinner table, but how to put leftists in a corner. How to put them in their place, how to fight the hypocrisy. And I don't care if it's egomaniacal people on your homeowners association, the school board, members of Congress, anywhere in our country that you've got politicians run amok. I don't care if it's members of the judiciary at the state level or our federal courts. It's time to fight back and take back our country. It's time to stop putting up with this hypocrisy. So I've decided I'm going to speak to you. And I'm going to start explaining my philosophy on every episode. When stuff pops up in the news, you're going to hear from me. You're going to hear me explain it. You're going to hear me show you what can't be talked about in a soundbite. And I'm going to tell you how we challenge the left, how we fight back, how we get around their hypocrisy and expose them, how we teach you to think 12 steps ahead, how to undermine them, overcome the obstacles they put in our path, and don't become one of those freedom-loving Americans like so many in the Republican Party that fall into the traps of the leftists in this country just because the media will do the job for them. There's still ways we can fight back and win. Yes, I support the MAGA movement when it's right, but when it's wrong, and sometimes it is wrong, I'm going to call it out. I'm calling balls and strikes here. I don't care who you are, what you are. I'm calling facts. I'm going to explain the good, the bad, and the ugly. Balls and strikes, people. I'm not even a sports fan, but I hope you understand that. I champion causes that are near and dear to my heart, personally and professionally. Whether it's local, whether it's state, whether it's international, you can count on me to have a voice on the topic. If you see me online, you've probably seen me do it already. I'm not shy about my politics. I'm not shy about what I think needs to happen, why it happens, how the inner workings of politics occurs when people are corrupt or what's wrong with our culture and society. After all, I'm a middle-aged American who's raising kids, and I see what's going on and how they're influenced. I see how our kids have become the TikTok generation, and all it does is denigrate them. All it does is destroy the fabric of this country. So I'm going to serve as a voice of the downtrodden. I'm going to help the little guy battle injustice. Are you a little guy? Even Donald Trump is now the little guy. So we're going to use my experiences, my confidence, my know-how, my abilities, and my willingness to take on almost every fight. I don't care if you call me Don Quixote if you want, but I'm going to keep fighting until the battle is done. And we got a lot of battle left in us. There is a lot that needs to be done to take back this country and fix what Joe Biden and the radical leftists have done. Because they have been able to do things and plan and plot. They indoctrinate our children. They tax us to high hell, coming up with a debt that even our great-grandchildren will never be able to pay back. And those are all words, fine, whatever. Republicans sometimes support some of this garbage. We're going to talk about that. And you don't have to be a purist, but you need to understand how this is truly destroying our country, how we need to take it back. So much of our lives has been spent giving up on the fight, saying, that's Washington. That's our state government. They're getting away with it. What can we do? We can't fight City Hall. That's just the way things are done. Teddy Roosevelt said, bull feathers. I understand how to fight City Hall. I understand what it's like to fight the other side when you think all odds are against you. Then there's no option. The chips are down. Bull feathers, once again. Our courts, as we saw with Donald Trump, are mired in injustice. The judges are actually the most corrupt politicians in America. Even the ones confirmed by the United States Senate. Even the ones sitting there across in the United States Congress with no rules, no accountability, and some idiots going on vacation at the expense of a billionaire or accepting flowers and clothing from Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, even the conservatives are just as bad as the liberals there. So we're calling them out too, because I got a real problem with the cockroaches in our courts. And they're going to scurry when those lights go on, and we're going to expose them. Because Justice Louis Dembitz Brandeis pretty much made it clear. Sunshine is the best disinfectant. So we're going to do some disinfecting on this show. We're going to punch up. We're going to punch harder. We're tired of being fooled by the judiciary who thinks they're honorable because that's a title. No, don't be intimidated by people who wear black robes to a job. That's all they're doing is wearing a costume. Don't be intimidated by them. It's time for America to remind them this is a government of, for, and by the people. So that's what we're going to do here. Because while we all know that vengeance belongs to God, we still need to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. So when you get right down to it, my philosophy and what we're going to accomplish is simple. We're calling balls and strikes. We're going to promote true conservative principles, not some iteration, not some modification, what Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan understood with William F. Buckley Jr. to be the modern conservative movement. We're going to promote that. From all ends of Pennsylvania Avenue down to Main Street, we're going after everybody and anyone who fucks with America. And even if it's beyond our borders. We're going to clean house in our state and federal judiciaries. We're going to clean house in our state and federal government. I'm going to help you understand what you need to know, what you need to see, and what you need to do about it. We're going to show America that conservatives can win the fight time and time again. At the end of the day, that is the point, and that's what we're going to do. Thank you.
You are listening to Rally for the Republic with your host, Bryan Rudnick.
So, my friends, what I need you to understand is that together, we're going to win this battle. We're going to take our country back. And the best way to do it is to stay informed and stay engaged with me. Now, I'll do a lot of the work for you. I'll be the one doing all the reading you need me to do. I'll make sure I'm always informed to the best of my ability, and I'll keep you informed. Please help follow me on social media. Subscribe to this podcast. Join the conversation at the 1776coalition.com website. It's a site I've been building for a very long time, trying to keep Americans like you informed, and I have considered that the headquarters of the Rally for the Republic. So I hope you'll join us, and together we will tip the scales in favor of liberty and justice. and restore the American way of life. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on Rally for the Republic, where we are fighting for America's future. Visit 1776coalition.com. Rally for the Republic podcast is available on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and download. Join Bryan Rudnick next time as we continue to fight for the American way of life and challenge the hypocrisy. This is Rally for the Republic.